Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the EUphoria podcast, available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, SoundCloud. I'm Drakos, joined by Caedrel. Our special guest today, none other than the bot lane of G2, Mikyx and Hans Sama, notorious weebs and 2v2 kill enthusiasts.
Both sides of the 2v2 kill.
Both sides of the 2v2 kill. They love dying 2v2. They love killing 2v2. I think they also really like it when people don't ban Draven against them. Shout out to
rumor
our
has
boys,
it.
the Mad Lions. Before we start talking about League of Legends, how are you guys doing? How's life? You feeling good? How's the season? We can go to you first, Steven.
I'm feeling very good. Way better than I've been the past year. I feel like, especially this week, coming to the best of 3, I've been the best ever of 2023, because I feel like I'm able to put my best in the practice environment, and also I'm very happy being with the team. It feels very like friends. We always like doing things together.
Yeah.
It's very nice, very different that I've been doing the whole time since I started my career, and also including myself into those, because maybe in the past I wasn't like as outgoing for those things, like always watching movies, animes, or doing things together.
Yeah.
It's been pretty happy so far, and we are doing a good run. And yeah, I'm very excited to be playing with Miky.
Did you guys watch anime together and hang out when you played together on Misfits, Miky, or was he like in
Not
his
really.
room?
He was kind of in his room a
Yeah.
lot. It was mostly me and Maxler watching stuff together.
But now
now we're watching like
you're watching
everyone.
together.
Now you're the
That's awesome.
homie.
Yeah, I'm also doing good, and yeah, winning's nice. I really like this team as well. Like, it feels like we're in a continuous honeymoon phase. Like,
Ooh.
there's like, I don't know. I just don't think we're gonna have any stupid arguments, which usually happens in most teams when
Yeah.
people get triggered randomly. But I think, at least so far, I think it's just not possible. Or like maybe, you know,
Yeah.
like at the end of the year or something. But it sounds really hard because I think all of the people in our team, like staff, players included, is just very normal to talk to. You know, very reasonable.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like it a lot.
Wow.
It's got a change of pace.
Wow, okay. There's a lot of subtle shade that could be interpreted from that statement. What? We're not gonna dive into that now. A question for you, Hans. I think that we've seen two kind of different mentalities when it comes to team environments. We've seen one which is the like really professional, you show up to an office, you go your separate ways and you go home. I think Bwipo's kind of been an advocate for that. We know Bjerg is also an advocate for that historically. And now you're in the exact opposite, which is like the 5 dudes in a team house who hang out all the time together. You said that's like your preferred environment. Do you think that that's just like the best way for teams to be built and constructed? Or do you think that because I think the TL environment was probably similar to the you show up, you work, do it. What do you think the differences are for you? Like what you obviously it says you said you like this one more, but how do you think it like actually affects for you?
It just affects me in a way to be happier,
Yeah.
I guess, with people and get closer to them,
Mhm.
and also feel like they, I guess, are your friends, and can talk about a lot of stuff. And I think I just don't feel alone at all,
Yeah.
with being with those guys. I mean, what we're doing is, I didn't have that for my whole career. I think like Misfit and the others, I think we didn't spend as much time as we do now, and it's a very different experience, and it's very nice. I don't really like the, I guess, professional one, because I guess sometimes you want to talk about things about the game or whatever, just thoughts that you have. Most of the time it's about the game.
Yeah.
Most of the time the main topics that I find is about the game anyways.
Yeah.
I don't really find other topics to talk about outside of this. So yeah, sometimes it could be rough if you don't have the person next to you that is easily available to reach. And yeah.
So you felt that in TL a bit. You didn't really have like the outside of scrim time discussions about like the game and stuff.
Yeah, it's possible.
Doesn't have to be TL. Could also be Misfits. Could also be.
It's for a lot of teams that I've been in, I would say.
Fair. Yeah, thank you. You gave a very good answer. I really struggled to get that question out, but you still gave a very good answer, so thank you.
But also, I was the reason of because I like to be, I guess, alone. But throughout the years, I think that I'm happier when there's people around me.
Yeah,
and I've learned to what does it mean to be together and do those things, because you always see them. And for me, I was like, okay, I'll just maybe be more alone and do my own stuff. But in the end, I think that's not the right way to have an enjoyable, happy life within that competitive environment, because it can be stressful. Yeah. So far, I learned a lot and spending a lot more time with my teammates.
Damn.
Yeah, I think like being outgoing in the sense that you're there for people, but then people are also there for you. Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, like on emotional burden, to get through the split together, because you're more of like a team. It's more like a bonding experience, more like a brotherhood kind of thing.
Yeah, I like it. You build up that trust. Reminds me of the Spartans, back in the day, fighting.
Back in the day, like it was like 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, to be fair, they were also encouraged to be lovers so that they would fight harder.
I was thinking of Master Chief.
What do you mean? I said back in the day, and you thought I meant in the sci-fi universe of Halo.
I didn't understand what you meant by back in the day.
I mean, it's similar, but child soldiers trained from birth, kidnapped by the government
I was thinking of Master Chief
to be
117
efficient killing machines. Yeah, that was definitely what I was talking about.
Cortana in the 1500s.
There it is. They just have Roma instead of Cortana. Yeah, there you go. That was... Both references were sus, so we're just going to move on for that one as well. One of the things that I see complained about every time we have Miky on the show is that we talk too much about anime. And don't give a shit because anime is dope. So, boys, it's time for the anime check-in. For all of the non-anime enthusiasts out there, you're going to have to bear with us because both these boys love anime. And I think we got to give them the time to let the other anime enthusiasts / LEC enthusiasts out there know what's good this anime season, what's bad, what are the G2 boys watching right now, what are you guys excited about?
What's the meta?
The main meta is Blue Lock, definitely.
What is Blue Lock? You got to give us the TLDR for the non-anime enthusiasts out there.
Well, it's sports anime about football, and it is really hype, really good animation, really cool really cool characters all around, and very motivational.
Blue
Or
Lock.
like, if you're competing in something, I think it's really good to watch.
It looks exactly like a series when I was younger called Galactic Football.
Oh yeah, that was really good.
That series
I need to rewatch this.
Is it similar to that?
No.
Okay.
Not really.
No. But that was also
good.
It
was like, for the time, it was like insane. Like,
yeah,
I really
that
liked
was
this
a really good anime. It was on Nickelodeon back in the days.
So is this, in the past, when I've interviewed Miky on previous rosters, it was like one or two people. Is it like a team-wide thing? Is it like all 5 of you are like in deep into the anime?
How do you think the team was created? We had to find the 5 weeps. We had to assemble all the Infinity Stones.
It's like Thanos with the Infinity Stone, but it's just the 5 weeps.
Yeah, pretty much.
So much power!
But yeah, we also watched The Boys, and we watched now we're watching The Last of Us.
Last of Us, banger.
And then for anime, I guess we watched Blue Lock. My Hero Academia is on hold because some people did not catch up yet.
Wait, is it started again? I haven't started
it. It's so hype, by the way. You're missing out. And I'm missing out because I'm waiting for Steven and BB.
Someone needs to catch up, huh?
Yeah, and BB as well.
But I'm stuck in a really
he's
boring...
mega stuck, so we kind of give up on him. But BB is like kind of close. Yeah, he's on the boring season.
Oh, that's a really boring season.
Yeah, the one we watched actually.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
The one between the classes. Okay, and then what else is there? Chainsaw Man was kind of overrated, I would say, because it was mega hyped, but I was like, animation's cool. Story, maybe not so much.
Agree. Big agree.
Bleach, really good, actually. You watch Bleach?
I didn't really watch Bleach when I was coming up, so I'm not going to watch it now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I watched it this off-season, and you want to know the strat? Because there's 200 episodes, right, and a bunch of fillers.
Yep.
So I just watched it in 4 times speed. And then just just skip forward, like until there's actually good fights or good scenes, and then all the like filler fights where there's like random characters fighting, you just skip all of that.
All right.
And then you get to the new season, and new season is just like so insane.
Well, we are reaping out.
And then
this is good. You're going. I thought you would like take your time on each one. You're just like, nah, we're speed running this.
Snap.
Yeah,
snap.
We're going through. All right, Blue Lock, highest recommendation.
Yeah.
Has it improved your team bonding watching a fictional story of a bunch of dudes playing football together?
For sure,
yeah.
It's so insane. This show.
Competition, baby.
Do you guys like identify with specific characters?
Yeah,
You're like, oh, BB is this guy.
For sure, yeah. Actually,
me and Daniel have this strat of like we play Apex, and we've come up with this new thing of like, if we don't know, if we want to like say hello to each other in like a very like a very
are you trying to tell this story? Okay, so the problem is, when you're going to the bathroom at about approximately the same time as someone else, and they're in the other stall, but you're not sure if it's them.
Yeah.
But you want to say hello, but if it's not them,
it's really awkward.
Yeah.
It's really awkward. So we came up with a strategy that doesn't solve that problem at all, but makes it completely worse, which is we whisper Apex character names at each other.
So he plays Bangalore. So what I'll do next time is if I think it's him in the stall next to me, I'll go, Bangalore. And if no one responds, then I know it wasn't him. And the stranger will think that I just said something random. So for some reason, I've related this story in my head to your story of having anime characters to relate to. Where now when you go to the bathroom with the G2 boys, you can be like, whatever character name, if it's BB, and you can just whisper it. And if it's him, he'll whisper your character name back.
Oh shit.
And then you'll be able to...
moment.
I didn't think about that, yeah. I'll implement it.
I never thought we were ever going to share that story with the world for a wide variety of reasons. But
I wasn't actually going to share the story. I was going to say, we have a way of saying hello to each other in a very different way, or in our own sign, our own language.
Yeah, people are going to interpret that very weirdly if you don't give more context. Not that the context made it less weird, but we made it more weird. We have our own way of saying hello, something a little different than the other people out there. Something.
Oh my god. Yeah, well, that's the...
we get it. It's the TLDR. I don't know how that... The point of that was to say that we get it.
I'm unleashed today.
Very relatable.
Very relatable. There you go. So that's sick. That's hype. Did anime help you smash the Mad Lions? Because you did smash the Mad Lions. That was a pretty decisive.
So yeah.
Pretty decisive.
So they had the power of anime and combat.
So our strat with Blue Lock is it comes out every Saturday, right? And after the first week, we went 3-0. And then we said, okay, if we go 3-0 next week, we can watch Blue Lock. Otherwise, we can't. Yep. We went 1-2. Okay, I guess we have to skip the episode for this week.
Wow, you actually had the strength to just stop watching it. Wow.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, it was self-control.
Do you think anyone on your team secretly watched it in their room?
No, but there was suspects. Caps really wanted to watch. He was we were making so many deals to okay, but if we don't watch, then we can do this and blah blah blah. Actually, what was it? So yeah, we didn't go 3-0. We're okay, fine. First week, everyone agreed, and then second week, we kind of had still the same thing, but Caps was no, this is only for that week. So he wanted to watch it no matter what. And I was okay, Erasmus, we can watch it if we go undefeated in scrims. And then one day we went 6-0, but then we played more games than 6 because the other team.
The game's quick.
Yeah, it was a bit quick. But usually you end at 8 p.m. and then we lost at some point one game, and then Caps but by 8 p.m. we were 6-0, so we're undefeated. And then we had a lot of arguments about that. And then he really wanted to watch. He was I'm just gonna watch, and then if you guys want to join, you can join. But then we made a deal that we don't watch, but then BB has to catch up in My Hero Academia because he was a few episodes behind. I think 6 or 7. So it was okay, you watch 3 episodes of My Hero Academia, and then we'll not watch Blue Lock today, and then we'll do it if you win tomorrow, if you go undefeated. And then turns out BB did not watch 3 episodes. He only watched 2 because he didn't have time. And then, next day we went undefeated anyway, so then we watched it. Actually, no. It was a Friday, but this episode comes on Saturday, so then I'm okay, I guess we can make it one more day, so then we have 3 episodes stacked.
Yeah.
And then we watched 3 episodes on Saturday, and it was completely crazy. And that's why it was such an easy weekend for us.
You just came in and stomped it.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so...
This is concerning because I'm very worried that if you make it to international competition, MSI or Worlds, that our success entirely hinges on whether or not there is a banger anime out at that particular moment.
But there's so many, by the way. Yeah,
that does help the analyst desk for me, at least. I can be I checked.
Listen here, guys. You think that I'm going to check stats? No, I'm going to check my anime list.
Episode 19 just came out today.
Episode 19 just came out.
And they're playing T1.
T1. And then we're going to find out that T1 is also watching anime, and we're going to be
oh. And then you just have this god battle going on.
There's no way they have 5 weebs.
There's no way they've also assembled 5 weebs. It's unimaginable.
It's not possible. We got all the weebs.
No. It's like La Formula, the 5 anime weebs.
Oh my god. Anyway, though, Mad Lion series was kind of bringing it back to League of Legends, as much as I'm sure people are... Other teams... that have been struggling are shit, 5 weebs, I see, yes. This is how we'll rebuild our roster.
Noted.
This is what we can do. Excel fanatic, quickly scrambling.
Are you a weeb? Yes, you're hired.
He said something about Maxlore. Maxlore watches anime. Get him in here. It was a pretty one-sided series. They gave you Draven twice, which I found quite surprising. Now, game 1 was admittedly a little bit tighter. you know, didn't quite get to see the same Yike Lilia performance as someone was like, ooh, we'll try to.
Had some good sleeps.
Yeah. Oh, actually, it was game 2.
I think game 1 we just kind of screwed up the dive. The dive went a bit south.
The dive did go a bit south.
But we got the level 1 kill pretty good. So top got rolling, and then Olaf was very balanced. And then
Olaf was very balanced.
yeah, we took a page out of the BDS book when we played against them, and yeah. I can see why they're so good.
Yeah, and Jungler had smite, so he's OP.
Yeah, of course.
No, the Lilia is interesting to me. Like, just looks like the draft is just so flexible, but it's also one of those things where I don't think you can apply it to many other teams because you need, like, your solo lanes to be able to play AD champs really well. You need, like, a volatile bot matchup maybe or a volatile top matchup, and you need a jungler who's, like, really proficient at playing, like, random AP champs like Lilia. Yeah. So when I look at your guys' draft, something I tend to notice is you guys draft not that much scaling oftentimes. You draft a lot of like mid-game. Yeah. So if I look through it, you know, like Tristana, Lilia. The only really late-game draft I guess you had was the Cassidy one, but then you have like Jax, Sylas, Jace, Lilia again, Tristana. Do you guys just tunnel vision on mid-game a lot, do you think? Or do you not think about scaling? Because obviously, if I look at your drafts, I don't see a Azir, Zeri, Lulu, you know? I don't see the Sejuanis of the world.
Yeah. You know? I mean, I guess we don't tunnel on scaling as many other teams do.
Yeah, definitely some option out there that we go scaling, but we'd rather play a very proactive early mid game because that's where we are in your hands. Strong. At. I think it's really easy to find opportunities for us, for our team. We always create those somehow, and those champions.
Yeah, because in the LCK, for example, I don't think many teams look for your kind of playstyle unless Elise is open. I think they tend to go towards that direction, like. T1 will play like set mid if they have Elise or something and try to dive bot. Otherwise, they just go towards scaling and they just go towards like, I'm going to pick a Zeri Lulu, trade Evolution Nami, pick Victor, and then just play for team fights.
It's not just the LCK either. I mean, we got a lot of that here domestically. Like the vast, not every single team.
I mean, Mad was doing it, right?
Mad was doing it. Yeah. I think that it seems like teams are falling back, not necessarily falling back, but pretty comfortable and have been pretty comfortable just sticking to the pattern of 2 late games. We got Zeri, we got Victor, we got stuff that means our early game isn't entirely crap. Like, that's a comp. Yeah. We made it work.
Yeah, and I don't know, what do you guys think of it? Like, do you guys, have you practiced it? I mean, I don't know, we just give anything away, but like, is there a reason you don't want to index into this style? Do you think that the game should be played differently? Because if you look across the world, a lot of people are just sticking to this style and not doing this kind of like bot dive centric jungle invade carry jungler kind of play style.
Well, if I was not confident in our abilities, I would also play for late game. But
wow, I love the subtle shade. The subtle shade. Miky, you're getting so good at this in your career, brother.
No, but well, I guess we just don't think that scaling for late is as strong as many other people, I guess. And we just think that if we play our style or our way, I think we will just win. Because I think we're good at it. I think our champs make sense the way we draft.
Yep.
I think sometimes when people just draft like full scaling, let's say they have Zeri, Azir mid, they could just win the game in like 15 minutes, right? Like
risky though, in a way.
Not really.
You don't think so?
No. I think the champs we play, it's not like they're gonna fall off late game, right? But probably you're gonna get the lead early, and then if you're good at snowballing, which I think we are, then you probably just win in like pretty early.
So like that BDS game too, it was like game 2. Now that we're behind and they have the Azir Zeri.
Yeah. Okay, but that draft was also like I think if you had the better 4-5, that game was like pretty winnable. Yeah. But I think we didn't have good enough tools to get back into the game.
Yeah.
I think a lot of our losses was kind of similar in that regard.
Dylan!
I'm just saying, like, basically, I think if you have kind of no engage and you're also getting outranged, it's hard to get back into the game.
True.
So a lot of the games, it was kind of like that. A lot of the games, we had some weird champions, like Taliyah. I'm not sure who picked that one.
Who picked Taliyah?
But that the game could have been fine, but we got a bit cheesed, and then we didn't get pushed, which we should have gotten pushed in that matchup. And the game could have looked a lot different, and Taliyah would be, oh my god, it's the new OP pick in the bot lane. But yeah, now it's kind of gone.
So like the carrier of Europe, just pushing these psycho champs.
Can you reveal the behind the scenes? Was this like you were like, we can play this it'll be good, and now you've burned your one time.
I guess
Dylan gives you the benefit of the doubt on Taliyah support, and now
I was like we were checking, I think, some stats because we were looking at like all the AD carries getting played on support, and I think personally that they're pretty useless. And I think Dylan has the same opinion. So we're like looking at all the troll champs, what has actually a high win rate, and Taliyah's support was pretty decent win rate. I was like, okay, makes sense. I can get push, and then I have some CC. I have some utility with my ult. Good work. Actually, it was pretty good in scrims. I think we won most of these games.
Yeah, we won.
And then on stage I was a little bit more useless than in scrims. But usually in scrims, when I played against Yumi would jump out, and I press my E, and then Yumi would try to jump back in, and then get stunned, and then I W him, he dies. But Hillesong was a bit too smart, he didn't do that.
He didn't fall for the obvious trap of dashing to the Taliyah E.
A lot of people in scrims just don't understand how my E works.
I will say that I see a surprisingly large amount of high elo and pro players lose to reading comprehension, where they just actually don't know how a champion's game works.
Yeah. You'll be surprised.
What do you think, Hans, when Miky wants to play things like the Taliyah? How do you slot into that? Are you like, do you ask him like what goes well with it? Tell me what to play, or do you just say, okay, I'll just pick Draven?
I mean, sometimes I just pick the strongest AD to compensate the troll champ. Or not troll champ. I don't know. I don't think it's actually a troll. So just the unusual champ that off meta that you play.
Sounds like you're getting trolled more than once.
No, actually, I have full support. I really want him to play these picks. But Dylan keep him in check most of the time.
Dylan is mostly...
So you're like the yes man, like Taliyah, yes. Whatever this is, yes. And Dylan's like, Miky.
I don't know.
Stop.
I can't play anything. I'm just like, I'm jailed playing Nautilus all the time. Like, it's crazy.
Nautilus one trick. I mean, it's pulling bans.
It's pulling bans now, so now you're going to have to find something else to play.
It's true.
Generally
also,
good.
I have a theory on the Draven Open for Mad Lions.
Okay, what's your why do you think that for context they left Draven open in both games despite success from Hans in both games? Why did they leave Draven open?
The day before, Astralis played Mad Lions, and in game 2, Mad Lions picked Draven themselves, Draven Ashe, and somehow they lost that game, so they probably thought, wow, we lost to Astralis with Draven, that champ must be useless. So then they left it open 2 games, and well, looks like it wasn't so useless.
Now they're looking in the mirror like, wait,
was it us?
Are we just bad at playing Draven rather than just shooing it away as the champion is the issue?
I mean, the Draven definitely seemed like a promising pick there.
It's S+ tier. Never has been.
S+ tier, you think?
Can you say is there anything in the game that beats Draven? Like actually can fight Draven or beat Draven in your eyes?
If you have counter pick support, nothing.
I can see
nothing, I would say.
I mean, you can do Teemo and then you can flex it if you're red side because you can play Teemo AD and support.
Is this the troll you were talking about?
You can blind him and then his axes don't do damage. But if he has cleanse, sucks.
I can see it already. Koi versus G2. Koi, leave Draven open on blue side. First pick. Red side, Mikyx has R5. And Miky says to Chance, I think Teemo's good here. Locks it in.
Trimby could do it against our Draven. So
the problem is, I've known you for so long now. I should be able to tell when you're absolutely trolling me. But I could see you trying to ram jam Teemo in a pro game. I'm just saying. Maybe. Miky Saplings.
You are a chef. You're a little cooker.
An infinitely better ability. Teemo Shroom, like a shitty Miky Sapling. You know?
That's his pitch to Dylan. He's got a PowerPoint presentation. You like Miky Saplings?
Free vision.
Teemo Shrooms.
Like I'm the cook, so I make all these exotic dishes, but then Dylan is the waiter, so he just trashes it. Just takes my dish and puts it in the bin. Like, whatever.
Oh man.
It never sees the light of day.
So what is it that you guys are doing so well that actually allows you to play, bring you back to the discussion previous, this mid-game strategy? Is it individual skill? Is it like game knowledge? Because you kind of talked about it as just something that with your skill set that you guys can do, but what is it that you're actually doing that other teams maybe aren't doing that means that you can play something that is so explosive in the mid-game or so that doesn't need that like scaling fallback that a lot of other teams are drafting?
I think it's a bit of both, like knowledge and individual skill. Like you always, I'm sure that enemy would feel like each player of our team are pressuring you, and therefore this pressure makes it to be like there's a player available. I think we are very good at making plays happens, especially when we have the tools given. Like if you have CCs, sometimes we don't have CCs, and I think it's just over. You don't even outscale them. Sometimes we had that in the regular season, but usually we try to get those like proactive early game, mid game champions. And when I see my support going forward and looking to make a lot of things happen, for sure enemy is gonna feel like, oh my god, we shouldn't let them have a play, otherwise they will get a big lead, and often happen like that. We have decent knowledge about macro. Everyone have very decent laning phase. Our jungler is a beast. We just play early game draft and just go front of them and just fist fight, and I think we always comes out at the top. Yeah.
How is it working with Yike? Because he's obviously like brand new to the whole LEC. You know, did he feel a bit pressured or stressed at the start? Were you just kind of give him like a helping hand, Miky? Because you're such an experienced support with playing with junglers. You know exactly how and when you probably need to be with your jungler. Was he?
No.
I'm curious. Was he surprised when he was like playing with you, or was he taking more of a backseat role? Were you kind of guiding him on what to do? Because I saw in the first few weeks you had some games where Yike would be top or like cross mapping topside on Graves, and you're getting dove bot, and it's like, yeah, we need to review this one, and you need to come bot and drop those camps.
Yeah. Well, I think at the start we were not talking as much between each other, I guess. But then at some point we talked about it that we should probably play a bit more often together. I mean, that game where we got dove bot, we kind of just said we can't get dove, then we got dove. So that's actually a bit strong.
The classic.
But our plan was pretty good, and also, they didn't actually know that Graves is in their top side. They just kind of thought that they would. They kind of thought that they would win in our blue buff jungle if they fight. But I think if we're there, we actually just win.
Yeah.
So that was like unlucky, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think with Yike coming in, well, I did some tryouts with him in the off season, so it was I saw the potential there already.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another off topic. I mean, maybe not off topic, but 2 years ago in 2021, it was like we were out of LEC. We didn't make worlds, and then we were watching second division LFL with Grabs, and I was like, oh, look at this Yike. He was playing Kazakhs. I was like, oh, look at this Yike. I played this guy in solo queue. This guy's good actually. He might make it. And then, well,
look at him now.
So yeah, but it's really chill, like really easy to talk to. Like even when we were doing tryouts, I was like reviewing a game with him, and he was just very nice to talk to, easy to take criticism.
Yeah,
he was smart about the game. He was good mechanically. Like what I liked about Yike was that he would always follow up when I went in. So like, like when I would go in, he was like flashing in to follow up my CC. I was like, nice. That's what I like to see.
Did you watch anime?
Of course, yeah. That was
one. Make sure.
Of course, I asked him. Before I was like, okay, so you watch anime? Okay, you're in.
You're just like there with your notebook writing down the good points about it.
I would love if the turn. He was actually feeding. He was really bad, but he was like, I watched anime, and I was like, oh, wow,
I'm sold.
He has infinite potential.
And this other candidate that was smurfing, he didn't watch it.
I didn't watch anime, so rough.
So was there tryouts in the off season for like G2, or was it like
no different team?
Oh, I see. Okay,
but yeah. So that's the first time I saw Yike actually play or talk to him.
Yeah.
And that's how I got the good affirmation. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, affirmation.
Good signs, affirmation.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Got the good
But
vibes.
yeah, I was like, at the start, I was a little bit curious or like interested to see how he would do on stage, because in scrims he was doing really well. But he's like more of a nervous person, as he says himself. And like he has some nerves issues. But he said that usually when he goes on stage, he plays really well. I was like a bit skeptical, like, because at the first game we played against XL, and he died at Raptors.
Raptors, I remember.
Yeah, and he went to Drake, and he didn't have a smite, and he was like, "Oh my god, I don't have smite," and I was like, "Oh no."
He's joking.
But then he got 1 kill, and then he got 2 kills, and he started smurfing, and then it was like,
smooth sailing.
Like, nice, he's
nice.
insane.
Nice.
So yeah, really good.
I mean, positive that he's been able to find that success so quickly. And you guys started scrimming really early, right? I think there were some teams. Someone was complaining about sweaty tryhards or sweaty nerds.
Probably Koi was complaining. They were not sweating.
Oh yeah, Lars said it into you. He was like, "We're not sweaty nerds, so we didn't start that early in the off season."
You guys started in like December, right?
November.
You started in November. Oh, 28.
Well, I guess November 28th. So it was after Luca's wedding. I went straight to Berlin, and then I think we had 3 or 4 days of just workshops, team meetings, just talking, getting to know each other, which I think really helped. I think that's also one of the reasons why I really like the idea of joining G2, because when I was talking to the staff, especially Roma, he had these good ideas of what I thought made us very successful in 2019 as well, where we had a lot of meetings before about expectations, how people react to losses, wins, everything. So I think that helped us a lot, and it was just nice to get to know everyone, because I didn't know Yike or BB, for example, or like I knew BB kinda, but or the staff, I didn't really know anyone. So yeah, that was really nice.
So actually, quick question on that kind of topic, Hans, because it talks about like team and success. When you came back from the States, I remember seeing you in solo queue. You got rank 1 in like a month. You like skyrocketed number 1 on the ladder. Did you get a boost of motivation when you came back from the States and you were like, right, next year I'm going to redeem myself and I'm going to show how good I am and I'm going to win a championship?
I had a big drive. I think it came from having such a bad year and myself feeling bad about my own play because honestly speaking, I became very bad. I just played very bad every game and my confidence was low. I think I learned a lot of bad things or just bad, bad habits. Yeah. Every time, I noticed that when I came back to EU solo queue, every time I was about to make a play aggressively, because usually I want to play aggressive, but somehow when I try to make a play aggressively, I would like think twice about it all the time. Like, is it gonna work? But then it's too late.
Like,
second guess. And it was I guess a huge challenge to turn this around. I was like, firstly on a first account, I got master, but it was only maybe like 60% win rate. And I was losing a lot of games that I'm boosted or something.
So you weren't happy with that account?
Yeah, I was really not happy.
60%. What a pleb, am I right?
No, usually you go to master with 90%.
Yeah, so you scrapped it and started again.
Yeah, it was 1 week of grind and I just left this account. Got to another one. It was like, I don't remember exactly, but it was a better one. I was smurfing more games. I started to play better. And then after 2 weeks of grind, I got rank 1. It was hard.
How many games a day do you think?
For 5 minutes only. Then I took
20 to 25.
20 to 25 games a day.
Yeah, usually I didn't do that since I was 16, but somehow I could do that. Maybe
20 to 25 games.
That is some motivation.
Even when I was
either really did not want to talk to your parents, or that was some motivation, bro.
I really was driven.
That's like 16 hours.
Yeah, I was really.
I mean, queue times also get longer the higher up you go. So that's.
Yeah, I was perma playing from morning to night. I didn't sleep so much. I was just thinking about League all the time and practicing some new champs. I was also playing so much Twitch to get to rank 1. I was trying to get every strike. How do I get rank 1? How do I get rank 1? Because I really want to prove something.
Yeah, and this all came from a place of like disappointment in yourself.
Yeah, I was very, very angry at myself. And honestly, I felt better the longer the grind went and the successful grind it went. I was more confident. My play was better. And then I didn't stop. I went to Korea after. Right after.
Wait, you went to Korea?
Yeah, I went to Korea. Maybe it was 2 weeks, a few weeks after. I took a short break, like 1 week break. And then I grinded maybe in total in Korea. I did like 450 games maybe.
In a space of how long?
I was there for like 1 month. And I got rank 20. I think I could get rank 1, but but I kind of stopped playing the game for like 3 days to some reasons, and then there was the new meta, and I was kind of late because if I was playing all the time, like 20 games a day, I couldn't do that. I could just do 10 games, and then I stopped the game for like 3 days. I was rank 20, and then I started dropping. But yeah, overall it was really nice.
450
you
games.
played more games in this off season than I do in a year. Like that is unleashed. Maybe 2 years.
I think I played more
days.
games than I ever did in my career. Yeah, I just don't play as much usually during the season. But
you're crazy.
I thought that's something that you can do when you're like really young.
Yeah. I was the same. When I was younger, like playing 15 games, 20 games a day was like not easy, but it felt doable.
Yeah, but somehow I could do it. I'm 23, but I could do it. I'm really glad that I could do it. I'm really glad that I still have this fire about the game, and I could come back and slowly show that I am not washed up. I'm playing with G2. I started scrimming with G2, and I feel like my level is there again, and I feel very like happy about it, glad, relieved.
Yeah,
getting to play with Miky.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it's definitely working out thus far. Obviously, you guys are already in the upper bracket, best of 5s. After pretty dominating series over Mad in the best of 3s as a whole, and a pretty solid regular season as well. Even if there were, some surprise releases as you highlighted earlier. But I'm curious how you guys feel about the bot lane level in Europe right now, because I'm pretty confident that you guys are the best 2v2 in the league. I think that maybe there are 1 or 2 other names that are competing with you.
Yeah, Comp and Trimby is like back on the rise a bit.
Now the Comp and Trimby are on the rise again. Their regular season was
bad.
It happened. It did not inspire, but they're definitely on the rise again here. How do you guys look at the other bot lanes? Are there other bot lanes that you look at as direct competition? Is there other bot lanes that you're like excited to practice against because you think they're really going to push you? How do you feel about the bot competition in LEC?
You want to start?
Yeah, maybe. I think there's a few bot lanes that are doing very well. Like I didn't expect them to be like doing good in the season. Like there's, for example, the bot lane of BDS. I think they are quite good. And there's the bot lane of Astralis. Actually, wow, they like surprise me every time we are playing them. I was like, wow. They are not bad.
Yeah.
And there's the SK bot lane. I think those guys were like doing very very well in the season and practicing against them. I think they're probably the one of the top. Also, I think depends. Maybe probably they're back. That's probably gonna be a big challenge to face Corey bot lane. I think they are gonna be there mentally.
Did it surprise you coming back from the States, being like seeing these names and being like, wait?
Who are these people?
Or like, how did they get this good?
Yeah, I was like surprised that some people came to there and improved over time. Like during 1 year, I think people can improve a lot. And I don't know if I'm better than I used to be 2021. Probably I have more knowledge. I play more champions. But yeah, it definitely feels like they are competition, and I need to try my best every time to beat them. If I get lazy or something, I think for sure I will lose. I need to always be on my toes, like really trying to fight hard. Yeah,
I do feel like the level overall is kind of lower than last year. I think with the absence of Upset, I think he was one of the only bot laners that I was like, wow, this guy is really good in lane. Like Upset Hilly, they were like really insane, I think.
Yeah.
I think me and Patrick were really good as well. So, I was expecting XL to be also pretty strong this time around. They were not very strong. Fnatic, similar.
Yeah.
So I think that's also why the other bot lanes, I think, look better in comparison.
Yeah.
I think Koi also kind of dropped their level compared to last year. Like last year, I thought they were actually pretty good. Like actually really good. Like Trimby was, I think, the best performing support last year. This time around, they're not as good, I would say, but they're getting better now. Hard to be worse.
Little shade.
That one was less subtle than the other shade. All right, there you go.
No, I was joking. I think for SK bot lane, I think they're fine. I think they played pretty well against most bot lanes.
Yeah.
Like I was pretty surprised they were winning against like Astralis, Koi, like pretty hard matchups as well, I would say. Against us, I think they were like fine. Even though they got to dive off, they still died after. But yeah, they're doing fine. A lot better now in scrims than at the start. So they for sure are learning fast, I would say. I think, Heretics, I think probably they are at the bottom. I think Heretics, Fnatic, I think those two bot lanes were probably the worst ones, or XL maybe. And then the rest are just decent. And I would say Astralis BDS, I would say, are the strongest from what we played against.
Yeah.
Didn't play Koi in a while, so I guess we'll see next week how they are.
Yeah. I love how he goes. We'll see next week how they are.
He throws his fists together.
Whatever.
Okay, I mean that's really interesting. I think that
Matt was decent as well.
Matt,
yeah. I mean, it's interesting to hear that. I think that good to hear the praise for the Astralis bottom lane. I feel for Kabi and Junghoon because I feel like they're always doing really well. Like whatever else is on fire in their games, they always feel like the dog in the house with the coffee cup. Like
actually, Junghoon kind of inspired me last year. Like he was like playing Pyke and Bard and just like roaming the whole map and actually just like setting so many plays. And at that point, we were kind of in a slump in Excel, and I actually just like I felt like I was like so boosted. I like forgot how to play the game.
Yeah.
So then I wanted to watch replays of Junghoon. I was like, okay, maybe I should like rethink a bit of how I play the game, and not just base wards. Put wards down, base again, wards, base again, and actually look for something in the game and try to win the game.
Yeah.
So I have a lot of respect for him.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. Yeah, I think Junghoon is like an exciting player, and obviously the Pyke and the Bard were the flashiest moments. Yeah. But we also got some Twitch this last week.
that was creative. I like that one.
That was creative a lot.
Actually,
except for Guild Roam.
Every Twitch support's been a bit in so far. Even Keria was just like sending it. So to see Younghoon, like, I think it was like 3-0 at one point, I was like, wow, this is going to be the game. And then there was a dragon fight, and he flanked them, and he opened up like behind them and died in like a second. And
yeah,
I was
literally
like,
1 second.
This is not going to be the game.
I think these Twitch players actually don't know how to play Twitch. I think I have to show them at some point how this champion is supposed to be played. But of course, it depends on Dylan.
Hans, how's your Cassio? Oh yeah, actually, just complete aside. I remember you from the mage meta. You still played Draven. Now, the official narrative...
Hey, it was with Miky, actually.
Yeah, it was with Miky, was that, if I remember correctly, the official narrative was you were meta-proof because you didn't need to play mage, you played Draven. Exactly. That's what we told the people. But I also heard behind the scenes that maybe the Vladimir wasn't doing as well as it needed.
Not too hot.
Actually, I thought it was doing well.
No, he was actually not bad, I would say, like on Vladimir.
Okay.
I think he needed a lot of time to pick up champions. So it was like Vladimir took like a week maybe. But when he actually picked it up, it was good.
Yeah. Do you still think you need a lot of time to pick up champions? Like if we, I don't think we're ever going back to a mage bot meta, but like if Miky, after watching last week, was like, we need to play Cassio Twitch, are you the kind of guy who could pick up a champion in a week?
I used to play some Cassio in that season. I think the Cassio was meta.
Yeah.
I think I am a bit similar to what I was. I still have to, play, I don't know, 20 game, 30 game of the champ to actually get a grasp. I think the last champ that I practiced hard on was Samira. Never played that champ. It was really hard at first. I was really bad at her playing her. But right now I have like maybe over 150 games on her total during this whole 2023, 2020, end of 2022. And I think I'm really insane on her.
And on
some people are even banning her for 5. People don't get to see Samira yet, but she's like the female Draven, I swear to God.
Yeah, I feel like Kalista, Draven, Samira are your like trifecta of like you will get dumpstered in lane.
But unfortunately, people are always picking CC topside, CC on 5 champions, so I can't pick her. Like I really hate knockups, but if they dare to pick no CC, I'm locking it.
But also for the mages, I saw your Seraphine was pretty good last year. So your Seraphine is ready. And in Rogue, your Ziggs was kind of crazy. So
I think
if mages come back, we have something.
Yeah, we got something ready.
That's an interesting thing though. But if this is a collective question, so if you guys were to look back at the Hans and Miky from years ago, what would you say is like the biggest difference? I know you've grown up and maybe you're more talkative, or maybe you have bigger champion pools. What would you say is like the biggest change you've seen as a duo?
Just talk more, I guess. I think we both talk more.
Yeah,
I think
you were both like really shy back then, not like talking
we
to
talk
each
more
other
to each other.
I think Steven was still talking a lot back in Misfits 2017 because that was kind of our whole practice was just like, comms, we need to talk more. You need to talk about this, like specific things. I was not very good at it. Actually, Steven was, I think, good. Like he, like compared to how he is out of game, he was very quiet and shy. But in game, he was like talking permanently, especially when he was playing like Draven, Kalista, all this aggressive champ threat. He was good at leading the games and making plans. Me, on the other hand, I was a bit more quiet. And now he even evolved into micromanaging me as well. So like, if he thinks I'm inting, he was like, "Hey, don't int," or like,
it's crazy.
Or like when I ignited Reckless to stop his base, that was also like his call, or like just like go stop his base.
Yo, ignite him!
No,
it was about to clear ward. I was like,
go stop his base, stop his base.
Stop
and I was like,
bro.
Okay, I guess I ignite him. It was like
that's so funny. Yeah.
That's cool.
So,
I mean,
I guess that is the big evolution.
Yeah. I like hearing that there's that level of confidence. I think you're still a pretty chill guy, like out of game overall, so people might misinterpret that as
I still have this thing where I'm kind of silent in real life, but I'm very talkative.
Yeah, I hear it in the voice comms. You are going in.
You're going in.
I don't know why it's like that. Actually, in real life, maybe it's like I just don't find any topic other than League to talk about. I don't know. It's so hard for me. But when I'm talking about League, when with my team, with this environment, I talk so much. And it's enjoyable to be like that.
It sounds like you're a big confidence dude in general. Like when you know something really well, you'll be like, back the up, Miky, stop inting. You know what I mean? But if the thing that you know really well is League and you're champion, like you need like 30 games, you want to know a champion. It makes sense if you want to play aggressive that you really need to know a champion. If you want to sit there and farm, I'm sure like you can pick up Samira and sit under your tower. I'm sure you can last it. You'll do great. But if you want to kill people, I understand that you need that. So it's cool to hear that you have that confidence now in League of Legends that you're able to be micromanaging Miky, which I think is something that is hard to do because we just don't have that many like super veteran AD carries in the league. And Miky's stubborn.
Yeah.
Like you can't. If you, I've watched Miky into a lot of AD players, man. I don't know how many have told him to stop. I don't know what his response was.
They weren't good enough. Like they didn't have a good enough leash. Like I can be a good dog if my owner is like, he's good. So like when Steven tells me to not, then I'm like, okay, or like I go stop his base. Okay, I just do whatever I get told. I'm just a puppet. I'm getting like marionetted around.
Marionette. Marionette. Marinade is what you do to me to taste good.
I was trying to say marionetted, but I guess
fine,
that's
bro.
not really a word.
He also does a lot of like good calls. Yeah. So
it's like throwing a bone.
Thank you.
You do something good too.
Miky's paying it back because I think we probably oversold Miky as like the catalyst for change on Excel. So now he's just making sure that he passes the praise along.
Yes.
Because I remember the first week you joined, we're like, he's the shot caller.
And
then we did an interview and he's like, yeah, I'm not the shot caller. I talk a lot in reviews though, and we're like, he's the difference. Like,
we need a title. We need a slogan.
Yeah, well, we were just trying because it made sense to us. Like, yeah, that's why there's a huge difference. And he's like, no.
I do think that I did bring some difference in Excel in terms of just trying harder because I wanted to prove myself a bit after the G2 year.
Yeah,
and I was trying to get people to, review games after stage games because I felt like in Summer Split especially, we were pretty good at the start, right? But I felt like we weren't actually good. I thought his enemies were like really boosted.
Yeah.
And we get really broken drafts. Like Volibear Yuumi, we played that a lot. Like everyone was just giving us Yuumi, and Yuumi was kind of very broken. But then we started losing, and I think at that point, I think I was good at getting the team to watch replays together after scrims and just get people to talk about drafts in the game.
Yeah.
So that was my contribution, which I kind of copied from Perks, because Perks was doing it in G2.
Yeah.
So that was a big step up from, not step up, but a big moment for me, because usually I would just be like, whatever.
All right, well,
I'm just
on fire now.
It's like,
someone else will get the fire extinguisher.
But this time I was not such a passenger, so I felt a bit good about that. But now I don't have to do it because everyone is just, motivated and just like talks up proactive, I guess that was the word. Everyone was proactive about improving, playing the game, talking about the game. So I don't have to do anything. I'm just a passenger again.
No,
that's nice.
But I also think that when it is nice when everyone is motivated, because then the burden doesn't fall on any one person to be like, hey guys, let's go, watch a VOD. When me and Caedrel were both excited about casting, we naturally just like, oh, let's review that cast, easy. And then it's not like either of us have to make the effort. But
we have
like,
the same actually. We always like, oh, let's review that.
Let's review that
every single game,
which is really important because otherwise it starts to feel like it can feel like a bit of a one-sided relationship or a burden. And it's good that you carry that burden in Excel, but obviously it's never ideal because then you're the guy who's thinking all the time about let's make the reviews happen, which is not a fair.
Quite draining. I didn't really have this in the past. Usually I was kind of chilling, but.
It's weird because it's like it's an energy like shift of, let's say we played bot lane together, for example, and I wanted to review the game and you were just kind of twiddling your thumbs or whatever, and I came to you and I was like, hey, can we watch this together? And I do that all the time, and I'm trying to get you to come with me to review this to get better. It's like kind of taxing on the person who wants to get better. Whereas if we're both like, oh, we both into it there, we should probably watch that game together. It's so much more fun. Like the productivity, you're probably speaking more, I'm probably speaking more, and I think that whole environment and just ambiance of how the team functions. Sounds like you guys have it to a T. It's just like in the West specifically. I don't know so much about like the Eastern regions, but in Western teams like Mad Lions year 2021, everyone's just having a great time, and we talk about it a lot.
I think the West only works with the band of brothers, 5 friends in a gaming house. I'm gonna say it just as a side note. I think the professionalism shit doesn't work. I don't know why. I wish it did because it would make, especially for players that are getting older.
Go to office, have a schedule.
We haven't seen it work.
No.
We've seen Band of Brothers work. We saw it work with Mad, and we saw it work with G2 2019.
I think it's kind of similar in LPL and LCK as well, at least from the videos that I watch of the players there. They all seem like really good friends, and they all like hang out all the time together.
Yeah.
But also, I think the professional setting can work if you're perma-winning. But let's say you're losing scrims like all the time, or like you just like basically you're not winning all the time.
Yeah.
Let's say you go to work, you play scrims, you get mega stomped, so you only have like negative emotions from the day, and then you go home, you don't talk to anyone. And then basically the whole day was just like shit or like ruined. And then if it happens continuously throughout the week, the only thing you associate with your teammates is like negative stuff from scrims.
Yeah.
So I think it spirals down into being bad.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So the gaming house is just better.
Yeah.
We're going full circle here.
We're going full circle.
I mean, I'm the expert. I've been in gaming houses my whole life.
I think the thing is, I think just the track record would show that Band of Brothers. I wouldn't give up entirely on professionalism because I think there's a world where you especially as players get older, you want to make sure the players have the space to like leave their job, right, and like have a normal life. But I think that also it takes a level of like diligence, and we talked about this a little bit last week with Swiffer, where like you can't go home and feel those negative emotions and not say anything. You know what I mean? You have to come in and say next day like, hey, let's talk about this. You have to be really proactive and like setting the course straight.
And not many pro players are, like, to be blunt.
I mean,
like, in terms of like communication and like keeping friendships or like relationships, they struggle a little bit because, you know, they're just thrown into this environment of I just want to play and
well, it's also it's high stakes. You know what I mean? It's like really high stakes, and I think it's just a really hard thing to do. So I think it's easier when you have 5 players who get along and spend a lot of time together because you naturally build that level of forgiveness, and it just comes naturally, comes easily, as opposed to like needing to really consciously, even if you like are really tired of this guy griefing you, be like, look, I'm upset about this. I'm gonna let it go next, but I really need you to like look at this because it's triggering me or some shit. You know,
and I think like apart like professional whatever work can work, like going to apartments and stuff. I think usually in a team setting, it's good to put in like to sacrifice a bit to spend time with the team, to put some effort into it, to actually get to know your teammates, and because in the end it's a team game. And I think if it was like back in season 3 where you could just solo carry a game, like because the individual skill was much higher, you can do that. But I think nowadays it's more about how good you are as a team. Yeah, and I think you get better as a team if you actually trust each other,
work as a team,
and all that. So,
watch anime together, Band of Brothers, Spartans.
Yeah, don't want to figure it out.
Also, I think mental is super important as well. Like when you're losing a game, for example, just losing gracefully, not just like tilt losing or like force losing or just like making mistakes.
We've never surrendered.
Yeah,
in scrims.
Never surrendered.
We never have a remade any game.
We've had our challenges. Some weeks we had some. I mean, it happens. But days they are there, and it's an opportunity to make our team stronger. Anyway,
admittedly, we could have remade one game.
We don't really remake. We don't remake. We don't FF.
Is there one person specifically, or like we're
no?
Not
we
FFing?
made it like we made this kind of rule at the start of the season. We had a lot of meetings, right? And I thought it would be a good idea to not actually remake scrims or FF unless you try something level 1. Let's say you try to cheese, and then if it goes wrong, you can remake. Yeah. But you have to talk about it beforehand. But if you get ganked 3 times and die 3 times, the same thing would happen on stage, right? Like it's not like impossible. So why would you remake in scrims? Because you can't do it on stage. So
yeah, I've heard that a lot as well.
I like that.
This is something I've also encountered where it's like he wouldn't do that on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, why are we remaking? Because
why wouldn't he? It just worked.
Yeah, exactly. I hate this argument. It's like it wouldn't work on stage, and then like we remake, and now it's like, we're remaking because he won't do it again, surely, right?
Yeah.
And we're voting for it just in case anyway.
Yeah.
Just kind of feels bad.
Maybe the enemy we play against, they must be feeling very weird that we are never everything. Like, why they are not everything? But there's so many games where we are like 0-5 or even 0-10. We're coming back and winning it.
Yeah.
So it feels good.
I like it. Those comebacks feel good. And I think the big thing that that I really like, that I hope that if any other teams listen to this, and I can't say what every team's preseason looks like, but I really love this referencing back to the meetings that you guys had before you even started playing together, where you had the conversations about, do you FF scrims, do you not FF scrims, how do you react to things? Because I think that a lot of people will try to figure that stuff out on the fly, but if you don't explicitly define it as a group, everyone's going to interpret it in their own way. And it's like any conversation you don't have explicitly about a problem that could come up, the results will just occur organically, which can look like anything. It can look like, no, guys, I'm the Magic Felix of this team and I refuse to FF. And everybody hates that guy. Yeah. You know what I mean? But if you have the discussion as a group, it's like, no, we're not going to do this. Okay, we're all on the same page. It's the decision we made together. Yep. You know what I mean? And I really like that. And I really hope that if there are any teams in our league that aren't doing that, that they take the time to do it. Because I just think that sounds to me like so incredibly crucial. Because otherwise, if you're not having the conversation, people are just going to feel whatever way they feel, and it can very quickly become a problem.
It's expectation setting, isn't it? It's like, this is what I expect. This is the bare minimum. Anything below that threshold just shows.
And agree. And group buy-in is the other thing. Because a lot of coaches, I've seen a lot of coaches behind the scenes be like, I watch sports. This is how it's going to be, kids.
They did this in baseball.
They did this in baseball. It's my time to shine. You know, and it's like that. You actually need people to be bought in and invested, and you can't force that. You know what I mean? You got to let a lot of that come from plans. It comes from building something as a group. You know, there's some things maybe that are less arguable, like yeah, you need to be awake at this hour. You can't just wake. You need to play X games before scrims start. You know, like maybe there's some things that like a coach or a manager can dictate. You have to show up for content days. You have to clean your jersey. You know, like there's some stuff that I don't think needs to be a group decision, but for the most part, I like that it is. Focusing back on the league at hand, we have 2 spots left in the playoffs. We have a lot of games coming up this weekend, and I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on these ones. And I want to start with BDS Astralis, specifically because you talked about both these bot lanes as actually being pretty good.
Yep.
Which I think BDS have been on the rise, so people expect that. And Astralis, I really hope that people, while Astralis have had some up and down success over the last few seasons, I hope people are giving that respect to Jonghoon and Kabe. But I wanted to get your thoughts on Astralis BDS. Steven, you want to start? Expectations, predictions, anything that you think is important? What does it come down to? Is it just an easy 2-0 for one side or the other?
Well, I think BDS could have more chance to come victorious. I think there's been gonna depends on like I think the top side might be stronger than the Astralis, honestly, and the bot lane might be like, well, to me they are like kind of even level,
just as good,
just as good both. And I don't know, maybe they're gonna do. Maybe it's gonna be a matchup where both don't do much, or maybe they just play this really early game, like they showed like the Caitlyn and stuff, and the Ezreal and stuff, and maybe the top side that might be more easy to snowball and for Adam to show up. I think he's always scary when he gets his champs. It's always like a superpower of his, and maybe he can easily get a good series.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, I think it's quite even. I think it could go. It's five best of 5. Or
no, best of 3, best of 3 still. You guys are the first playing the first.
Probably gonna be 2.
So there's 2 best of 3s in lower bracket. Winner faces Vitality Mad, and then the winners of that go to best of 5s.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, I would say it depends a lot on mid jungle, because I think they are like the weakest parts of both of their teams. So I think it depends who is better in that regard, because other lanes are kind of evenly matched. I do think BDS like has a strength in Adam and his champions, but the also problem is that they're also predictable with his champions.
Yeah.
They have a good strat against it. I mean, Finn is better. I think can be better. So I think if he has a good champion prepared against Adam's champion pool, I think Astralis could pull out ahead because of that. And I think Jonghoon is a bit more creative than Labro on the map. Yep. So I would probably give a slight edge to Astralis, maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure about Dyer. Hopefully he doesn't run it too hard and then they can win.
Okay. I was going to say, because I think Hans was like, I think the top side might be maybe a little bit stronger. I would have put BDS's top side as clearly stronger. Yeah. I think Finn has been stepping up recently, but he's had some up and down. Ever since the GP week, I've been like in the Finn camp again. Pretty excited about Finn. And Nar.
GP was insane.
And the GP was popping. Yeah, he's had some great games. But
he's picking it up.
I feel like we've more consistently seen a higher level performance from BDS. I don't know, Mark, are you... The Astralis prediction surprised me. Now, I would agree that it's close. I think it's 2-1 either way. You trust your boy Finn. All right, what's your read? Are you a BDS
I'm on the BDS end. I think their bot lane, I think Hans highlighted, I think bot lanes are pretty similar, but top side's just better for BDS in terms of like, because even BB struggled to match Adam. Like he got solo killed a couple times playing like Jax, I believe it was, into like his Garen.
No, he got dove once. Actually, I was watching that. I was
he
like,
got straight up dove.
How OP is Garen?
Garen,
it was like 80% HP with E up.
I was also surprised on the cast as well. And so I think it's like taming Adam is really hard, Even I think BB, I'm gonna look here. I think BB has 15 games played or something. 8 of them are Jax. 14 games played.
What?
He's just one tricking Jax. So I thought like, okay, confident, most played champ. He'll be fine against Adam. First pick it on blue side.
How many games does he have against Garen though? That's probably the more important question.
Exactly.
So in game 3 he was kind of smurfing.
No, he was Adam. Game 3 he absolutely smurfed.
What was the matchup? I was Renekton. Oh yeah, he killed him.
It was Renekton.
No, the Renekton
and also outside of lane, he was
2 Jax games to like download him, and then third game he was
downloaded. The first two games I think Adam played well. Like the Garen game he played well, then the Olaf game he played well, but then the Renekton game we don't talk about that. So I think it's kind of hard. I think Finn will struggle a little bit to put Adam on a leash. So did you just
my boy Finn? Come on,
Miky's loyal to the end.
Well, he's gonna bust out his Kled.
I comp as well. I mean, I also have Crowny, but it's like 2v1, so I have to go for Astralis.
Oh yeah, I feel like there's a bit of bias here, Miky.
You lost Nemesis, you got to stay by Crowny. When you look at Mad Lions against either of these teams, my initial assumption is that Mad are just making it to playoffs. And while both these teams are solid, I think Mad is just a cut above. Do you think that's fair to say at this point in the season?
Yeah, I think it's pretty fair, yeah.
So do you think it's just clear, Mad and Vitality?
Probably.
That they are stronger? Or what?
Yeah, that they're strong. I mean, is top? You guys are top 4 with Koi already. Is it Vitality and Mad getting the last 2 spots, do you think?
Yeah, probably. I would say so.
It's going to be banger best.
Where do you think that who actually has like the biggest upset potential? Because I think if I look at my predictions right now, I'm predicting SK to get through towards Vitality, and then I'm predicting
they're still there.
BDS. We didn't talk about the other side of the bracket or the other group, and then BDS versus Mad.
Yeah, for sure, SK can be a surprise.
I think I'm kind of giving more upset potential to SK. That feels weird. I don't know.
Yep.
I feel like SK
maybe Koi is just too good, right?
I think it's just weird to see SK, Astralis, BDS in our top 8 because Fnatic and XL aren't here. So we're always like, surely they won't keep going, and they are.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there is a little bit of bias because historically these teams haven't been successful. Yeah. So I don't know what their ceiling looks like, but I don't know. It feels that way to me. Do you think is Team Heretics? I'm currently counting them out. You guys did not rate their bot lane super high. Yeah, SK's bot lane's been at least pretty solid. I think XKick said him and DOS have had some great moments.
I think it's gonna be a massive jungle gap as well in this one. I think Yanko's gonna get murdered. No, but I think
those are both your former junglers. That's Marcoon versus Yankos. How are you picking a side?
He's just being so damn biased.
No, but I think for this one, I think SK is probably a better team. I think maybe Koi is just like 2 insane because the 2 with both SK and Vitality. Which I thought were gonna win their games. So I still think SK is probably stronger. I think like going like player per player, I can see SK being better as well in that regard.
Yeah,
I think Irrelevant's maybe struggling a little bit. Like I wasn't so impressed by him so far. But the bot lane at least is in favor of SK.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I would put more faith in SK, I would say. But yeah.
I mean, if I look at like the left side, Heretics, SK, Vitality, to me it's like junglers.
Yeah.
Marcoon, Yankos, Bo.
Yep.
Then I look at this side and I'm like, I don't really think of jungle. I think of bot lanes.
Bot lane.
Yeah.
You know, I think like this side has the weaker bot lane, stronger jungler area.
Plus Draven.
And the opposite side.
So, my Draven brother.
one question I had that's like maybe a little off topic because you mentioned it about bot lanes earlier, where you're like, I think overall bot lanes are a bit weaker. Do you think the league is a bit weaker this year, actually, as a whole?
I think on average, I would say yes. I think some teams got better, like G2. And
of course,
Mad, I think, got better as well. SK as well. Who else is there? Vitality. So that's 4.
Yeah.
Actually, BDS as well. Yeah, actually. Maybe it's a little bit better.
Similar.
Yeah. But
is
I think,
the ceiling
for example,
higher?
Fnatic XL went way down.
Yeah. Do you think the ceiling is higher this year? Or is it just that like teams are now closer together because a lot of the bottom teams have stepped up?
I would say the ceiling is higher, yeah. I think we can be kind of insane.
I didn't watch much LEC last year, but
don't give us hope.
No, he's giving us hope, Hans. Don't take the hope away. Don't take the hope away.
So internationally, the ceiling could be higher. Is what you're telling us.
Higher ceiling.
Yeah.
Is this just you, or is this like the top 3 going to a world championship, for example?
I would say us. I would say Vitality can be good. I think the bot lane struggling a little bit right now, but if they pick the top side is very good, so
a
little bit much.
Yeah.
And then Koi, I mean they were good last year. I think their bot lane is very good. I think Marong is very good. I'm not sold on Shigenda too much, but he could pick it up. Maybe we'll see next week.
I loved how you always just I'm not too sold, but
but yeah, I think at least for us and Vitality, we have high ceiling, high potential. So yeah, I think compared to last year, it's better. So there's that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hope for the future. Last point of discussion before we go. You guys versus Koi this Monday. First best of 5. Big stakes. Crazy. Wow. How you feeling? You said it. Bot lane regular season might not have been that great from Comatrimby, but they showed up this last weekend.
Yep.
Potentially 2 of the best bot lanes in the league. I would argue 2 of the best bot lanes in the league.
We're gonna have a great match. Actually, it's gonna be so hype.
I was already giving Comp some fake info yesterday in Champions Queue. So
what were you giving him? What was the fake?
I was playing really bad on Lulu. So
no.
he thinks I'm really bad now. So
Job done.
Everything's part of a greater strategy. Yeah, I've actually been just feeding in League for the past 7 years consecutively, so that if anyone checks, they'll think I'm bad. That's my strategy, not you.
Works for me as well.
Oh, works for you too. Okay. So.
What do you think, Hans? Are you excited for your best of 5 in the LEC back in the grind?
I'm really excited, especially playing against Koi. I get to play against. I get to talk to them sometimes, some of the players, and I really want to have a great match. I hope this match is gonna be really entertaining to watch right one.
Will you start Cole versus Cole bot lane? Will you start Cole versus Cole bot lane? Because Vitality versus Koi, there was some Cole versus Cole in the bot lane action. And that was the most boring thing I've ever watched in my entire time.
But then I saw a bot tower die at 8 minutes, and I was like,
that was impressive.
That was impressive. Yes.
Nah, I prefer not to.
Doran's blade.
I think that item is banned, actually.
Draven is going to be banned the whole series, and but I really want to. Yeah.
Maybe show off our Twitch Casio.
Fist fight, yeah.
Is this when you guys have a ton of, like, you talk about it, you guys can bring these games back. Do you think that Koi have that same potential to bring games back if they're not having a good early game? Are they on that same level as you guys where they can, like, spot those opportunities and find ways back into games, you think?
I think they can, but I think they do it in kind of a predictable way. And it's mostly just Malring and Trimby doing stuff.
Yeah.
I think the rest don't really do much to come back. Whereas in our team, I think everyone does it. Everyone's trying to find ways to get back into the game. So I would say it's easier for us, but they can still do it with. So.
Yeah, I think the clash of jungle styles is going to be really exciting because I've been watching Malrang in these best of threes stand in bot side river for 3 minutes.
Oh my, he just lives there.
He just stands in this bush.
He's just there.
Going between mid and bot, for example, in one of those games.
That bush
Is that a meme inside the team?
He's out to get me, I think.
We used to, when I was back in the day when Garen was broken when he first got released, there was the Garen rule, which is if you can't see the Garen, every bush has the Garen in it. Now I feel like it's the Malrang rule, which is you can't see Malrang, every bush has Malrang in it.
Or river.
That's
fair.
He's
just running up and down between lanes for like 3 minutes straight with just 3 camps, looking, and then
water walking abuser.
He's getting value out of it. And I don't think Yike does that as much, you know.
Yeah.
He picks an opportunity, goes for it, and then pisses off it doesn't work.
He's efficient.
He's a fish
efficient
in the river. Malrang. And that's the toss to you.
Wow. And on that horrible fish joke, any final words, gentlemen? Let's anything that you're really predictions? Yeah, is 3-1, 3-0,
3-2? 3-0.
3-0
for Koi. I think we're gonna win 3-1. I'll give him 1 game. Just so they're not 2 down.
3-1 is a G2 classic.
That's the Lulu game. You give them that 1.
So they're not 2 down for the loser bracket, so they can come back.
3-2. I want a banger.
You want a banger?
I
want Silver Scripts too. That's what I want.
It's
Thank you,
after the pro is like, I want to play against him, but I want to lose 2 games as well. Just for competition.
I want a great game against Last and Trimby. I really want. Yeah.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's really awesome.
We figure out that series, if you're excited for it, is going to be this Monday. Absolute banger. Super excited for it. Trying to load up the schedule so I can tell you what's going on.
And then so after this weekend, we've got 1 more weekend of 3 days, and that's the end of the split.
That's the end of the split, and then we start a whole new season
after 1 week break.
1 week break. So, but otherwise, this Saturday, Team Heretics versus SK, Astralis versus BDS. The winners will play against Vitality and Mad from their respective groups on Sunday, and then we get to see you guys on Monday. You could potentially be just 2. It's just 2 best of 5s at that point. If you win
this best of 5, it's 1 more.
Then it's just 1 more, and you're done.
Pretty crazy.
Do you like the format actually? Quick,
yeah.
Before we end?
I'm a big fan. Like, well, if you're winning, you have more games, which is nice. I think getting more best of 3s and best of 5s is really good as well.
Yeah.
And I like that everyone has like a loser bracket, so even the teams that already lost still have a chance.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot. And yeah, it feels short, so that's nice. Like I like 3 games a week because like it's more exciting. Usually, if it's like long out through like 8 weeks and you have like 4 days of scrims or like 4 days in between the stage games.
Yeah, feels like a longer.
Seems kind of bored. Like at the middle of the split, you're like kind of.
You enjoying it, Hans, as well?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I mean, maybe it could be different to some other teams. It could be very exciting or very stressful because
everything's on fire. Fast. They've got 3 days to scrim.
We're winning. We get to stay in this mindset of winning, and the teams that are losing are like.
Imagine
how do we solve a problem in a
0-3 first week?
Yeah, the 0-3. It happened that some great teams they started 0-3 for sure, or maybe like
Koi struggled, for example.
Start. like the past, I don't know, 3 years, I remembered some teams. Maybe Fnatic starting not well.
Some teams have gone 9-0 in the first half and then just completely bombed.
Oh,
yeah?
Sure.
So you never know.
It kind of sounds similar, but wait, what?
I don't remember any teams like that.
Actually, I remember. We started playing Israel and we lost it.
We did? Well, in Misfits, we lost to Caps Wukong. That was their first loss. Remember?
Caps Wukong. Oh my god.
I remember Caps Vayne.
Caps Vayne.
Caps Wukong.
What about Caps Kane as well?
Caps Wukong, Caps Kane,
like
Caps
Kane.
Caps
Wow,
Zoe.
that meta was fun, huh?
Hey, bars.
Why no one did a montage of Caps killing me?
He's just spitting.
Like, there should be a montage of Caps killing me. Like, all the time he killed me was very like...
But now, he's on your team.
Now he's on your team.
Now we can't kill you.
Now, well, he can get you killed, for sure.
That's true.
Renata and, you know...
Can Rise Ultimate into
the team.
It's so great that,
that sounds like something Caps would do.
So I don't get wrecked.
Now you know what Perks felt like in 2019. That was kind of like the whole thing. Just get him in.
True.
Yeah.
There it is. All right, boys. Thank you for coming on. Good luck in your series. I assume it's going to be practice all the way until Monday. You guys not taking any extra off days or anything?
Well, we're practicing right now, but we're here.
Okay, all right, we'll let you go then. On that note, we'll send you home. That's fine. This has been EUphoria, episode 6. Thank you guys so much again for joining. 6.
Thank you.
I'm going to say 6 with confidence.
Okay.
6 with
I'm gonna
confidence.
say 6 with confidence too.
Yeah. We'll see how you stack up against the Koi bottom lane now that they're recovered and back in form. Who are the true 2v2 kings? Find out this weekend. Find out on Monday. Otherwise, we'll see the rest of the teams making it to best of 5 this Saturday and Sunday. Tune in for some more banger LEC, and we'll see you guys next week.